What's going on, guys? I am Kevin, and this is Armando. And we are here to share our takes on the new Barbie movie.
Humans only have one ending.
Get that Barbie!
Ideas live forever.
The film just finished its second weekend at the box office, and it is up to $351 million. So I think it's safe to say, no matter what we think, I think we both liked it, but our word really doesn't matter because this thing is just making money. It's like bread. Great for us film fans because it's great to see people are going to the movies with this and Oppenheimer. And with the strike, it's nice. Maybe this is going to be the last hurrah before the movies are not shut down, but maybe not making that much money. So I always enjoy, and I think you enjoy, Armando, that people are experiencing it theatrically, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a great thing to go to the movies and be around other people, share that, like have that shared experience, which I think is great. And I like that, it's like when the summer started, we were a lot of people, and I think when we were doing the podcast early, we were very much like, we really thought The Flash or like Mission Impossible, that was going to be like the surefire hit movies of the year. And then the last few weeks, it's just been Barbie and Oppenheimer. That's the thing that really, like, I think really showed, hey, some people were like starved for something different.
Yes.
I think even if Barbie is IP, like it's known IP, it's something about it. It's like it really took off in a way, like, and it's weird because it does feel like movies used to just do this. There was always like opposite movies that would open, but like it really showed how much the theatrical experience changed that people forgot. Like this used to be so common. Like it was always movies competing against each other, but like this one, it just took off in such a way. It's like so many memes and things about it that like it was just crazy. You can't really escape it anywhere, especially as a film fan. And it's good, like you're saying, like it is good that people are seeing this in it. Because I think, in a way, this is probably the best time it would have come out. I don't know if in a different context, if it would have been the hit that it is, just because I don't know, maybe because now people I think are kind of bored with like the superhero stuff. They were starved for something that looked so unique as far as like how it looks. It just looks so much like not like what's coming out. So I think that also helped a lot. But I think it just something about just connecting with you. Like even like my audience was very muted. I think it was a guy. He was there with his girlfriend. I don't think he was happy to be there. I think he was forced to be there. He clearly was not enjoying it. But then on the opposite side, on the same row, there were these young girls that were really excited and really into it. So I think, I don't know. It's one of those movies. It's crazy that it's doing as well as it is, because nobody really thought it was going to do this. What we just thought, okay, it'll do enough to get by. But it's just one of those weird things that it's just the word of mouth, the marketing, it helped enough sometimes. It just helps in the right place at the right time.
Yes.
That the people connect with it. It's kind of a weirder movie than I would expect people would really be more receptive to. I feel like on some level, but we'll get more into it.
Yeah. What did you think? Tell me what you thought.
Okay. Overall, when I went into this, like I'll be honest, like as a kid, I hated Barbie. I was like, I want nothing to do with Barbie. Like I remember when I was a kid, I was like, when McDonald's, I don't know if you remember, they used to have like a Hot Wheels Barbie meal. Oh my God. Every time I went in there, they always ran out of Hot Wheels. So I always got Barbie. So yeah. So I always had like a thing against Barbie because of that. And I was like, and also it was just inundated on ads everywhere. Barbie this, Barbie that. And like, I think I was also growing up, you're part of that culture of like how Barbies are it's bad for culture because it's teaching girls to look a certain way, which like I understand. I mean, there's a lot of different things to tie into that. So that gave me more fuel to the fire. It's like, oh, I don't like Barbies. But when I saw that this was coming out, I was like, okay, I'll see it because I like Greta Gerwig, because I liked her last two, like directorial efforts. And then I was like, oh, Noah Baumbach is doing this. And then I was like, oh, he's writing this. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'll check it out. That was literally all that. It was just who was working on behind the scenes. That was really it. Like everything else, I was just like, oh wait, we'll see how this turns out. But I wasn't really like pumped for it. It was just more of a I'm open to what they're gonna do with it. And then the ads came, and I was still like, okay. When the trailer came out, I was like, it looks really good. Visually, it's like, okay, it's doing something with the camera. It's doing like it just looks good. So I was like, okay, I'll see it. But then, like, and then when I go to the theater, I was like, okay, I was like, to be honest, I'm not always in the best mood. Just life gets in the way. Sometimes you're like, okay, I'll see it just to get out of the house. But I mean, it was always something I was anticipating seeing. I was like, okay, let's see how this turns out because it's just like an experience to see his people behind the scenes that are working on it. And so I go in, and then I'm like, okay, the people, like I was just saying, the people that one couple next to me, they're not really receptive. It's like maybe this won't have the right vibe because it's not the right audience. And the audience in general was not like as packed as I thought it would be. Some people, it was enough people, so I thought, okay, let's see if this is really as good as all the hype. Because now the hype was already built over the weekend, so I felt okay. As it started, I was like, okay, this is already. I was like, this is for like the 10. It took me like maybe 10, 15 minutes for it to really kind of get into like what he was doing. Like,
Mm.
because I was like, okay, this is very strange. Just in general, like, I don't know if I was really sure if I was really gonna be into it. Like, it was just a question mark. And then as it kept going, and you get used to how weird it is, I do think that it is a really like it was just weird because I was like, this is a product, a movie literally made by like the toy company that's producing it. I was like, that was already where I was kind of like, it might be red flags. I don't know if it's that good, but I think for what it had to do to be positively cynical, it could have been a lot worse than it could have been. Like this could have been a corporate product. In a lot of ways, it is a corporate product because of it is a studio movie. But I do think you can tell it's enough weird stuff in it, like to at least make it its own kind of vision of what they were doing with it, where okay, it's not gonna just be okay, we're just trying to sell toys. Like there's some kind of feeling and emotion behind it. And I think a lot of it is because of Margot Robbie. Because like everybody's all about Ken, but I do like Margot Robbie. I think she's a big key for why it works. It's like it is her story, and I think she does bring a lot of emotion to the part. The more than like you would think somebody like that could, like the you would think a movie like this could, because this could have just been a cynical cash in. Like she
That-
could have just collected a check and just sat there and not do a performance. But like I think she really gave like a very strong performance for what she was giving. She really took the role very seriously. Like she gave the Barbie part like a real, like she gave it some real weight and like humanity more than she didn't need to, but she did. She worked hard, and I think there's enough of the script is good that I think it did help as far as like it set a good tone where even the part where it becomes like a message, which okay, those parts I they don't really work for me. Or it's not that they don't really work for me, but it's hitting me over the head with something I already know. But at the same time, I think the people that are gonna go see it, the target audience, the kids that I think are gonna go see it, the girls, the younger girls, they might get something more out of that I already feel like I already am receptive to that. I get why it's there, and it's in a way it's necessary for that message to be there because already with some of the negative connotations with Barbie over the years and like some of the backlash even before the movie came out, the people who are not gonna like the movie, they're not gonna like the movie. It's not gonna change your mind. Like if you're already like, oh, this is gonna be woke or whatever, which they poke fun of that in the movie, I think with the Ken character, which I think they did really well with Ryan Gosling's character because I think he's like they don't just do like they clearly know like even before the movie, like Ken, he was just there. He's just there to be there. He's just basically like a byproduct for Barbie. That's just always been how they sold it and how people knew him as. And I think how they kind of use that as a way as a commentary and like using it with the patriarchy stuff. I thought it was really well done. It was very funny. He found a way to not make the characters so repellent because I think he's such an idiot that you can't really take him to say he's able to still make it funny. But I think there is a truth really underneath that, like especially like if you go to social media and just politics, how crazy things are like gender wise and stuff nowadays. I think it does say something and it has followed through as far as that part. I did like overall how that turns up. And I did like how the Barbie Ken thing is not like a typical, oh well, they're gonna be, or will they, won't they? They even kind of play with that a little bit in the movie, where it's not just, oh, we gotta be together because that's how scripts work, that's how movies work. Like there is kind of a that was, I think, the better conflict to me was the Barbie and Ken thing. I feel like the Will Ferrell stuff, I liked it, but I also feel like at the end it kind of didn't need to be there. It's like he's
Yeah.
good. I like Will Ferrell,
I
but
think
he
that
just
role could have been basically played by anyone. I think Will Ferrell was a
yeah,
catch, but I think anyone could have played that
yeah,
role. It was one of my least favorite parts of the movie.
hmm
Also, you were talking about Ken and the reaction to Ken from, the
yeah,
people who use the word woke a lot. And I was
yeah.
just sitting there and I'm reading some of these reviews and like, do these people not have they never met a dim-witted musclehead like Ken in the movie? You're talking
That's
about
the thing.
how
Yeah,
you see him
right.
on Instagram. You can also see when you go
hmm
out to bars, there were so many guys like Ken, and I thought
Yeah,
Greta Gerwig did a fantastic job, as you said, using Ken as kind of like a avatar for like guys who basically take it overboard because that's what he does in the movie. He goes to the world, he comes to our world,
hmm
sees that men rule, and he goes back. And of course, like a stupid guy, we're men, we're two guys, but we realize there are stupid guys in the world too, and they
right.
take an idea and they completely destroy the idea. And like that's what I thought Gerwig did really well with
Yeah,
Ken, and I thought Gosling was fantastic. It took me about 15 minutes. You said 10 minutes for yourself to get into the
yeah,
movie.
yeah,
It took me like 10, 15 minutes too, but I started really appreciating the production design, which is incredible in this movie.
hmm
It's just crazy
yeah,
how they recreated the clothes, the
hmm
outfits, and just the overall aesthetic of like a
yeah,
little girl's Barbie set.
hmm
And yeah, it's Robbie, as you said, was very good too. And I love the joke when they're like, "Oh yeah, if we're talking about beauty, maybe casting Margot Robbie in the lead role isn't the best thing to do."
Best idea,
That
I
was
guess.
a great joke.
Yeah, that was one of the best
And
jokes for
but
me
the
too.
one thing I didn't care for was, as you said, like as the movie progresses, it's just like the hammer keeps hammering you on the head with the theory.
Yeah,
Okay, I get it, I understand. Women can do anything, women can be
yeah,
anything. Men are stupid, which I agree. Some men are stupid, but I
yeah,
just think that Gerwig kind of went off the rails at points with it. But
yeah.
otherwise, it was just I thought it was a very very fun movie.
There was the one part where America Ferrera has that speech, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're not really gonna do."
I was
Like,
like,
I was like, "Is it a this is a disparity?" And then I did at least like how that does kind of turn on itself, and then they
yes,
have to put them all in the van when at the end, and how that like kind of they did kind of subvert it, but at the same time, I don't know if it's that much of a subversion. They still mean the message of like, girls can do anything, and
yeah,
which is true, and they
yeah,
can be
anything they can do
flawed.
anything. Yes, of
Like
course.
we understand that. That's not an alien concept
The world
for us.
has evolved, and of course, there will be certain men who don't believe in it, but
Yeah.
the majority of guys I know, and probably the majority of guys have that
Mhm.
same mindset that girls can do anything. Do you remember the scene where Margot Robbie was sitting on the bench and she's sitting next to the little woman, and she was
Yeah,
still?
I remember. Yeah.
What'd you think of that scene?
I thought that was a really well done scene. Like, her like interacting with that lady. And then I found out that lady's like an actual like costume designer, but it
Yeah,
kind of felt like it was like I don't know, it was like a good like emotional scene, like her kind of getting used to that world.
yes,
Somebody kind of giving her like, hey, this is she kind of getting an idea. And I think they could have made it more of a slapsticky role than in another like a worse movie. 100% would be like, oh no, the old lady's gonna curse and
yeah,
she's gonna say crazy things. But like I think in a way it could have, and it was not as sentimental. It just felt like more of kind of the moment where she like realized, oh, the real world is like with so many issues. I'm so used to being a girl,
yeah.
and like everything works out over there in Barbie world. You
And
know?
it just basically shows young girls and women in general that just because you grow older doesn't mean you lose your beauty. Yes, your physical
Yeah,
beauty may fade, but I think if you're
yeah,
a good person underneath it all, it will shine through your looks. I brought up that scene because the studio, I read in an article, wanted her
yeah,
to cut that scene out of the movie, and I thought that was
yeah.
the most stupidest decision by the studios because I just thought that's what makes this screenplay really work on top of the comedy,
hmm
the
yeah.
commentary is that there are moments of
hmm
heartfulness and genuine like girl power moments.
Yeah.
And
hmm
yeah, I liked it. It doesn't touch Oppenheimer, which was incredible. Go
Yeah, I
see it.
still need to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
complete
gonna
the
see it
Barbieheimer journey. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to Greta Gerwig in my eyes. She's 3 for 3. I loved Little Women. I liked Lady Bird. I like
Mhm.
this. So, she's 40 years old, so she's just getting started. She's getting power. This thing's making money. It's not slowing down. I don't think Turtles is gonna beat it next week because Turtles is really
I don't.
Meg
Yeah, I think
too.
kids will see it, but I feel like it's gonna have like Elemental. Remember that movie Elemental? It bombed when it first came out, but it's doing like gradually decent enough
Yeah.
where I think people will see it and it might do fine, but yeah, it's not gonna beat Barbie. I think Barbie in Oppenheimer, that's the big one still because I just heard Oppenheimer they just like extended
The
the
IMAX.
IMAX. Yeah,
Every showing for the next week at the IMAX in the city that I always talk about, it sold
yeah.
out. I can't get in there. I want to see that thing on IMAX. It's on a normal
Hmm.
screen. And then let
Yeah.
me let me tell you something. It was still badass on a little screen,
Yeah.
but I do want to see it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna give Barbie 4 out of 5 Margot Robbie hair pieces. How about you?
I think I'm gonna give it 3.5.
3.5? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh yeah, so that's basically what I felt about the movie. Do you have anything else to add, or you're pretty much good?
Um, I just wanted to say when you were talking about the lady on the bench, I found that that lady's like an Oscar-winning costume designer,
Yes, yes.
and her name is like Anne Roth. I don't know what movies she's done, but I the thing is cutting that scene in general. Like I thought that's crazy because that I feel like that's a really important
Yeah,
part.
I think
That
I
lady, she hadn't acted before, but for some reason I don't know why. That really shows how studios sometimes just they don't know the product that they're putting out there, and sometimes you just got to stick to your your convictions and things like that.
do you know I forgot his name and I don't even want to like try to pronounce it. Shang-Chi, what's his name? Do you know his name off the top of your head?
Simu Liu, I think.
Yes, I thought he was very good too.
I thought he was really good. He
Yes.
was he was good
Yes.
as yeah. I think he and Ryan Gosling they work pretty well
Yeah.
together. Yeah,
And I thought Mike Cera was okay. I think he was just playing Mike Cera.
he just played Michael Cera, which is fine. But I was at the same time I like that he came. I was like, oh yeah, Michael Cera, he's back.
Yeah.
And then I noticed there was a lady in it. She's on Sex. They had like three. I don't know if you watched that show, Sex Education, on Netflix. But
No, I
there's
want
like
to check it out. No, I want to check it out. Sex
it's
Education?
pretty good. I just
Yeah.
noticed there's the one lady in it, one of the Barbies that it's one of the ladies that they always say looks like Margot Robbie.
Oh
There's one
yeah, Emma
Emma
McKay or something.
McKay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
She was up for Lois Lane. Yes.
yeah. Yeah, no, I just thought it was kind of funny just to see it because like I mean they don't make the joke, but like it's obvious they know like okay, they do kind of look alike.
So does Samara Weaving. She was
Yeah,
up for
Samara Weaving, yeah.
yeah.
Which I know they did. Didn't they refer? I think you
They
saw
did it in
Babylon.
Babylon.
They did a joke about that or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
Which
I
is
still need to see that.
oh man, you guys see
But
that movie's awesome.
yeah, yeah. But no, I think the important thing is people are going out to the movies. If you're gonna see a movie, like you can't do wrong with this. I think it's definitely recommended from both of us. I
Yeah.
think if you have kids, if you have girls, especially, I think they're gonna get a lot out of it. Like the girls next on the other side of the theater, they were like really pumped. They liked the soundtrack. So the soundtrack was good. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, the songs were good. I like the Billie Eilish song at the end too. They used the Billie Eilish song,
Yes.
which was
I
good.
noticed that too.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely worth going out to see. We got to keep the theatrical experience alive because it's
Hell
good to
yeah.
get out, go in the screen, and definitely it's definitely worth checking out if you have the chance to see it. Highly recommend it. I think from both of us.
Yeah.
It has its flaws, but I think it has a message that needs to be said. And then the people that don't like it, you can go see that Jim Caviezel movie again. That I'm
I
never
actually
gonna
want to
watch.
see that. That's making a lot of money too. That's making a lot
Yeah,
of
they
money.
have that pay it forward thing. They're buying the tickets, but people are seeing it. Like they're getting the tickets. Church groups are going to see it apparently.
I don't think anyone on the site has seen it, so I may go
No.
see
If
it.
you see it, let me know. I
Yeah,
I might. If you say it's good, I'll trust you on it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But all right, guys, what did you think? Do you agree with Armando and I? Like, I know Logan and Henry also reviewed this one too. What did you think of their review? Check us out. Come to the site. We do reviews like this, pair it up. Sometimes we do it solo, and we have other commentaries and other views on TV and film. And that is it for us. I am Kevin.
And I'm Armando.
And as we say in the site, cheers.
Cheers.